Hey YouTube, this is Alex, aka Turbonatic777, coming to you today to talk about, finally, I completed my final preoperative testing. I am going to be getting the biliopancreatic diversion with dual denal switch, also known as a DS. And my surgeon is Dr. Kevin Bovard, and he is with Bariatrics Specialist of North Carolina. And so, yes, I am so excited. I was ready to be done with those preoperative testing, and now I got a message from the office saying that they were going to submit everything to my insurance. And then when they call me back, it's because, I have been approved, and we're going to sit down and talk about the results of all the testing and get my surgery date. Yay! Finally. I started this process in March. So it's now, we're mid-May. So, yeah. I'm ready. So my final preoperative test was the sleep study. Oh my God, y'all. I could not sleep. So the objective of the sleep study, as y'all know, is to see if you have obstructive sleep apnea. I think I have it for many reasons. Number one, my darling wife has heard me snore, and then stop, and then breathe and snore, and stop. So I went in there with the expectation of being told that I had sleep apnea. But I'm kind of weird because with me, I only snore if I'm laying on my back. If I am on my sides, I do not. So, when I went to the sleep study, which was actually Mother's Day, Sunday, Mother's Day, I went to the place, and I had to be there at 8 p.m. And so, I went there. And I told him, he asked me questions, I had my paperwork about, my sleep habits and whatnot. And, I told him right off the bat, I said, I think I have it if I sleep on my back. But if I sleep on my side, I feel like I sleep better. So let me talk to you guys a little bit about that day, So we go in there. There was two of us there. It was me and another lady, and we were the only patients there that day. And of course, she went to her room, I went to my own room, and the first thing that they had us do was watch a video. Well, it was two videos in one. And the first video was people talking about what is obstructive sleep apnea, and then how they diagnose, and how the sleep study and what they do in the sleep study. And then they had a portion of testimonies or testimonials about people who had the study and then got diagnosed with sleep apnea. Well, dang it. Of course, they're giving their little testimonies, and I'm just like, I knew it! I have it! Oh, God. So, yeah. The second video was about how better their lives were after getting the sleep apnea treated with a CPAP. And, yeah. I'm not looking forward to a CPAP because my brother, I don't mean to throw his business out there, but he sleeps with a CPAP. And he says it's miserable. He says, yes, I feel better when I sleep with it, but it's awful. It's just all in your face. He's like, if you turn, it kind of moves, you know, kind of gets out of alignment a little bit. He said he's woken up to his ear being fed oxygen because it's just kind of moved. But I'm not looking forward to that, you know. So going back to my little study, I finished the video. The guy comes in and he says, you know, do you have any questions? I said, no, I have sleep apnea, according to what these people felt and what the, you know, what the video was saying, you know, symptoms and whatnot. So he kind of chuckled. He said, well, we'll see. So, you know, he asked me what time I went to bed. I told him. He said, well, we're going to go ahead and get you ready so you can go to bed. Okay. Then he says we're going to be connecting all these little, you know, wires to you, and, you know, one around your chest to see your chest moving as you breathe, one around your belly, also for movement, in the, like right here in the TMJ area, to see if you're clenching and grinding, the temples here, and then little probes all in your hair. So, oh, and then there was two that went down my shirt, down my pants, and they were connected to my legs because they wanted to see leg movements. So he said, so yeah, we're going to connect all this stuff. I'm thinking, how the heck am I going to sleep? He said, oh, you know, most people just fall asleep like nothing. Oh, okay. That was before I got connected to all this stuff. So he starts to measure my head. He measured my head. He took my blood pressure. He took my weight. And then from there, he went ahead and brought me back to the room. After a few minutes, I guess he was attending to the other patient. You know, I just watched TV in my room. He came back in there and he said, okay, well, if you want to stand up, I'm going to go ahead and start connecting your stuff. And, you know, he, you know, started connecting the wires, the stuff. Oh, I also have stuff in my chest. Here he had stuff on my chest. And then he started putting the stuff here in my TMJ area, temple. Then he had the wires running down to my legs. And then he started putting stuff in my hair. And I was like, what are you doing? What is that stuff you're putting? It's this waxy paste. So what they do is they kind of clump it around your hair. And they put the little proby thing, or the little sensor, I should say, in there. So I had a bunch. There was a bunch. I don't know how many there were. So I'm like, he gives me this thing, like this pad, and this is where all the wires are connected to. And then that little pad goes connected to a cable that's on a monitor of some sorts. So he's like, here, hold this. And he said, get in the bed. And I'm seriously like, how am I supposed to sleep? Like, seriously, dude, I got all this stuff. And he said, just try to ignore it. Try to fall asleep like you normally do. I said, well, you know, I like to kind of turn and stuff. Is that okay? He said, yeah, you can turn. Just make sure you don't flop. Okay. He said, you know, I just don't want anything to get disconnected because then I would have to wake you up and connect it again, and then, you know, we'll go from there. You know, kind of keep testing. So, great. Now I have this concern, like, okay, if I turn and disconnect, then he'll have to come in there and wake me up and then reconnect, and who wants to go through that? So, of course, immediately, I'm like, man, I'm not going to sleep. I just knew right then and there I wasn't going to sleep. Because, oh, and then they had a little a pulse, something for your pulse, and check your oxygen levels through your pulse. Connected to your finger, and it was taped. And it was it was like rubber. So I'm very hot-natured. Luckily, the room was very cold, which it was great. But I just knew with all the stuff I just felt myself getting hot. So I laid in the bed, and when I laid in the bed, I just knew I couldn't sleep. I mean, I was stiff. I just wasn't comfortable. And he, turned off the light. I felt tired. I was ready to go to sleep. But then it was like my brain just was in hyper mode. It was like in turbo mode. It was just going. The main thing was like, okay, try not to turn, your best you can. Try to, if you do turn, not do so vigorously. And, yeah, just try not to pass gas either. TMI, but that's true. And I told them, I'm crazy like that. I said, look, I'm sorry if I pass gas and I'm sleeping. I'm sorry. Excuse me. I'm sorry. And he was like, I've seen crazy stuff. You just have no idea. I've been doing this for about 20 years, so nothing surprises me. It's okay. And I'm like, no, excuse me. I just want to say excuse me. I'm sorry. I'm going to try my best. I mean, you don't know what you do in your sleep. But anyways. So he turns off the light. I try to go to sleep, and I just could not. I kept turning and just twisting and it was one of those things where I finally did go to sleep, but when I wanted to turn, my brain would kind of like wake me up because already I was in my brain like, you can't pull these things off, you have to wake up to turn. And sure enough, when I was tired of laying on my back, I would pretty much get up and turn ever so slowly. And then I would try to go back to sleep. And then it wasn't comfortable. It wasn't my bed. It wasn't my pillow. It was just uncomfortable. But I did sleep some. I remember getting up at 4. Well, I asked him what time it was. He said it was like 25 after 4. And I had to use the bathroom. So, I called him and he came in and I was like, I have to use the restroom. He said, okay. So he disconnected me and he gives me, this big old, it looked like a little tablet with wires coming out. He's like, here you go. And I'm like, I have to use the bathroom. And okay. So I kind of tucked it on the side of my pants and I used the bathroom and then I went back. He reconnected me and he said, okay, go to sleep. But he did say, do not sleep on your back. You sleep better on your side. So I knew exactly what he meant. I wasn't breathing. So he wakes me up. Here comes, after that, actually, I'm getting ahead of myself. After I used the restroom, it was 4:25 in the morning. Normally, I get up for work between 5:30. So my body, once I got up, I knew I wasn't going to be able to fall deep again. So sure enough, I just kind of kept turning and just wasn't comfortable. I was ready to get up. And I kind of was on and off, going to sleep on and off. And finally, it was 5 o'clock. He just turned on the lights and, he said, okay, Alex, good morning. We're going to go ahead and disconnect you. And, you can go ahead and I'm asking you some questions and then you'll go home. I said, okay. Really, I was going to work because, it was Monday. So he takes everything off, takes the probe, and he takes me to this other room and he takes my blood pressure. Once he took my blood pressure, he's asked me, how did I sleep? And then he had like from 1 to 5, or 1 to 10, how was my sleep? No, I think it was 1 to 5. 5 being very poor, very good, 1 very, very poor. And I was like, it was a 1. I mean, I couldn't sleep. I could not. And I told him, I said, look, it was just a lot for me, worrying about not unplugging anything. He said, okay. He asked me, did I feel more tired, now rather than when I first got there? And I was like, yes, because I didn't sleep. He said, okay. He said if anything was hurting. No. He asked me, how many hours did I think I slept? And I said probably like 3 or 4, because again, I kept waking myself up to turn, and that was it. So of course he said doctor will give me the results, but he said I do recommend that you do not sleep on your back. You sleep better on your side. So I'm not saying anything. Just sleep on your side. Wink, wink. So yeah, and which I knew because I've woken up gasping for air on my back. So normally I would try and sleep on my side, but being that I had all this stuff on me, I just could not. Because even when I turned, like the probes that were on my head were they would get tight, and I would feel like it was pulling my hair, and it would get tight. And then the belt that was around here, I slept with a shirt on, and the shirt would kind of tuck itself under the little belt every time I would try and turn, and it was not comfortable. It was not comfortable at all. It was the worst sleep. And then of course I went straight to work, and to deal with patients, it was a tough day. I was exhausted. The line of work that I do is very mentally demanding, and it was a rough day. I slept like a rock, that night on my own bed, and my wife said I snored like a beast because I was so exhausted. So I was like, sorry honey, I'm sorry. But so that was my little experience with that sleep study. Do know that the little wax paste that he puts out, they have the place that I went, they have showers. So I took a shower and I used a shampoo, and it kind of dissolved it, and it was okay. Because at first it felt like if you had gum stuck in your hair. And he said, once you wet it, it'll kind of dissolve. So just you'll be fine. Just wash your head. Okay, and it did. It dissolved. So yeah, that was my sleep study. I pray to God that I don't have to do another sleep study. I have a feeling that I probably will. If it came out that I had, sleep apnea, which I probably do. I know they're going to have me wear a mask and do it all over again. But I think I'm going to take a sleeping pill next time, so I can knock my behind out. But anyways, that was it. So now I'm going to be waiting for the phone call from my office, hopefully to go over everything and then set a date. And I'll let you guys know. But till then, take it easy, and hopefully I'll be joining you all on the Loser's Bench. Bye. Take care. Thanks for listening to me, and have a good day. Bye-bye.